There's a Republican U.S. Senate candidate from North Carolina. His name is Thom Tillis, okay? He said back in 2012, this is a recently uncovered video that's making the rounds now. He said that the traditional population of North Carolina is not growing, unlike the African American and Hispanic populations, and that this is a serious problem for Republicans who seem unable to court the minority vote. Let's play a clip from this interview. This was with Carolina Business Review host Chris William, okay? This is amazing on so many levels. Let's play it. This is already starting to affect Thom Tillis's campaign now, recently uncovered video.
When you see all of these things that have transpired, what do you think about? What is going on in the Republican Party?
Well, I think it has more to do with what's going on in the demographics of this country and recognizing that, and then having a platform and a message that resonates. You know, if you take a look, you mentioned the Hispanic population, the African American population. There's a number of things that our party stands for that they embrace. I think we have to do a better job of communicating it. I think we have to do a better job of being out there in between elections, garnering support for the things that we're trying to advance. And I think we need a focus on limited government and free markets, which is something that's appealing to everybody. That kind of work will position us for those growing sectors. You know, the traditional population in North Carolina and in the United States is more or less stable. It's not growing. The African American population is roughly growing, but the Hispanic population and the other immigrant populations are growing in significant numbers. We've got to resonate with those future voters.
This isn't at all about being racist, right? I don't really care whether Thom Tillis is racist or not, whether he cares about minorities or not. There's a lot of discussion about that going on online. I couldn't care less about it because there's something way bigger here, okay? The traditional population of North Carolina, listen to that. This statement about white people being the traditional population of North Carolina is so representative of the juvenile and short-sighted nature of so much right-wing conservative ideology. Remember, the traditional population of North Carolina recently, after the actual traditional population of North Carolina, the Native Americans, were killed or kicked out, has been white people. And it's so funny, every time we hear something like this, almost everything, the default for the conservative, the American conservative worldview is basically 1950, right? When it comes to how women should be treated and women's role in society, when it comes to race relations and racial division and segregation, when it comes to keeping gay people in the closet and pretending it's just something that Uncle Joe chooses, but is not really something you're born with, antiquated education and scientific ideas, all of this stuff seems to be conservative, right? In the sense of keeping things the way they were at one point, but at a very arbitrary point, which seems to be like around 1950. There's nothing traditional about white people as the population of North Carolina, unless you pick a very specific point after the Native Americans were kicked out. And every time it just boggles the mind that they're stuck not in the past, but just right around 1950.
Right. And all of this becomes clear with the language they used. It's all about race. It's all about separation. I mean, the traditional population is going to be different now. You know, the traditional population from this point on is not going to be the traditional population that he's talking about.
No question about it. And I don't know if it's because many of these right-wingers have the idea that we're only dealing with like 6,000 years of humans on Earth or whatever. But the obsession, right, with remaining the way we were, but long enough into history that it's pleasing to them. It's this completely arbitrary form of conservatism, and Thom Tillis completely embodying that with his comments, the traditional population of North Carolina. Okay, let's take a break. Later on, we're going to have David Silverman, president of American Atheists, on the show, and I don't think we're going to agree at all on today's topic. You'll want to stay tuned for that.